The Eagles' defense just sent shockwaves through the NFL, and it might not even be at full power yet. Hidden gems are breaking out, rookies are forcing tough decisions, and Philly's front office just pulled off a trade that could change their special teams overnight. The Birds are not just reloading, they're terrifying the league one headline at a time. Philadelphia Eagles fans, buckle up, because Week 1 wasn't just a win, it was a statement. This defense, already stacked with talent, somehow looks even scarier. A couple of surprise stars turned heads, and one rookie linebacker, Campbell, might already be forcing the team into an impossible choice. And while the NFL just made its final call on a Jalen Carter suspension, good news for Philly. By the way, defensive mastermind Vic Fangio is still demanding more, even from his brightest young talents. But the chaos didn't stop there. Just days after shutting down the Dallas Cowboys in the opener, the Eagles made waves by hosting what felt like their own personal NFL Combine. Big names, veterans, and familiar faces rolled through for a chance to prove they still belong. From former Bengals corner Mike Hilton, who could shake up the Eagles' secondary, to ex-Philly wideout Quez Watkins, the tryouts had fans buzzing. And let's be real, Watkins' name brought more groans than cheers. His last run in Philly didn't exactly end in glory, and most fans aren't begging for round 2. Still, the Eagles weren't just window shopping, because late Monday night, Howie Roseman struck again, pulling the trigger on a trade that brought in running back Tank Bigsby from the Jacksonville Jaguars. And this move might be sneakier and smarter than anyone realizes. At first glance, Bigsby adds depth to a crowded running back room. But Philly didn't bring him in just to sit behind the starters. The real excitement? His ability as a kick returner. Special teams coach Michael Clay couldn't hide his enthusiasm, because Bigsby has proven he's electric with the ball in his hands. Across 3 NFL seasons, he's averaged nearly 29 yards per return, including several explosive runs of 40 yards or more. In fact, one of his best highlights came against Philly last year, when he left rookie Nolan Smith grasping at air. And with the new kickoff rules making returns more valuable than ever, the Eagles just added a weapon in a place most teams are desperate to find one. Think about it, Bigsby isn't just insurance. He's a potential game changer who can flip the field in one play, and maybe even carve out an offensive role if the coaching staff unleashes him the right way. The Eagles didn't just get stronger on defense, they added a spark plug on special teams, and that could be the difference in tight games down the stretch. Eagles fans, I want to hear from you. How confident are you in this team right now? On a scale from 1 to 10, drop your number in the comments. Are the Birds already the most dangerous team in the NFL? The Eagles just got some tough news, and it changes everything for their offense. Rookie running back Will Shipley has a fractured rib, and that could keep him out for weeks, maybe even months. It's a brutal blow because Shipley was expected to be that versatile piece in both the run game and the passing attack. But with one door closing, another one just swung wide open, and that's where Tank Bigsby comes in. Bigsby wasn't brought to Philly just to sit on the bench. He's physical, explosive, and already proven he can handle a heavy workload. Last season alone, he racked up nearly 800 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns, and here's what makes him special. He punishes defenders after contact. He ranked 3rd in the entire NFL in yards after contact, averaging almost 4 yards after being hit. That means even when you stop him, you don't really stop him. Add in 46 missed tackles forced and a top 5 elusive rating, and you're looking at a back who can turn broken plays into highlights. Now, here's the one big question. Can Bigsby fill the role Shipley had in the passing game? That's where things get tricky. Bigsby hasn't been much of a receiving threat so far, and pass blocking isn't his strength either. That likely means A.J. Dillon will need to step up in those spots when Saquon Barkley isn't on the field. But in situations where the Eagles want to pound the rock, especially late in games when they're protecting a lead, Bigsby could shine. He's the kind of back who can grind out clock, wear down defenses, and let Saquon stay fresh for the big moments. And while all eyes are on Bigsby's opportunity, let's not forget another brand new weapon the Eagles just added, Zadarius Smith. The veteran edge rusher just turned 33, and on his birthday he made it official. He's rocking number 52 for the Birds. Fans already know what this guy can do. He had 9 sacks last year, and now he joins a defensive line that already features monsters like Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, and Moro Ojomo. Imagine the chaos when offensive lines are forced to double Carter or Davis. Suddenly Smith is one-on-one, and that's a nightmare matchup. The truth is, nobody knows yet exactly how quickly Smith will fit in. He trained on his own this offseason, and he's still learning Vic Fangio's system. But here's the thing. This defensive front is so deep, Smith doesn't need to carry the load. He just needs to add his firepower to a rotation that's already one of the most dangerous in football. The Eagles lost Shipley for now, but they may have just unlocked 2 new weapons. Tank Bigsby pounding the rock, and Zadarius Smith bringing veteran heat off the edge. The Birds keep finding ways to stay loaded, no matter what hits them. Eagles fans, what do you think? Will Tank Bigsby actually take over a big role in the offense? Or will he just be a depth piece until Shipley returns? And on defense, how many sacks do you see Zadarius Smith getting this season? Drop your predictions in the comments. The Eagles' defense is loaded with names, but the real story right now is about who gets left out and who's breaking through. With Zadarius Smith added and Patrick Johnson promoted, fans can't help but wonder, what does this mean for Azeez Ojulari? Week 1, he was a healthy scratch. That's a tough pill to swallow for a guy with his talent. Coaches will tell you it's never easy telling a player he won't suit up on game day. Ojulari has flashed plenty in his young career. Just last season, he had 6 sacks and looked like a player on the rise. But this is the reality in Philly. There are only so many spots, and the competition is brutal. If Ojulari can't carve out a role soon, he risks being buried on one of the deepest defensive fronts in football. Still, I don't think his story is finished yet. He has too much upside, and this team knows it. While Ojulari's future is uncertain, the Eagles may have struck gold with another edge rusher, Josh Uche. And let me tell you, this guy didn't just flash in week 1. He flat-out dominated. Uche was the highest-graded defender in the entire NFL according to PFF, posting an incredible 93.9 grade, with a 92.7 pass rush grade and a ridiculous 48.3% win rate. Those aren't just good numbers, those are superstar numbers. And the tape backs it up. Over and over, Uche embarrassed the Cowboys' tackles. 1 rep, he knifed inside and forced Dak Prescott into a quick dump-off. Another, he swatted away a lineman's hands and got straight to the quarterback. He bent around the edge, forced incompletions, and even drew a hold that the refs somehow ignored. Watching him was like watching a hunter stalking his prey, and he capped it off on Instagram with the caption, "The hunt begins." Eagles fans, this doesn't just look like depth. This looks like a steal. And as if that wasn't enough, there's another young star emerging. Rookie linebacker Jair Campbell. In his very first game, he showed instincts and athleticism that had analysts buzzing. The Ringer's Shail Kapadia went as far as saying Campbell and Zach Bond could be the best linebacker duo in the entire NFL. That's not hype, that's history being written if it comes true. Campbell had a play where he ran stride for stride down the field, breaking up what should have been a touchdown pass. That's not normal for a linebacker, that's special. Sure, he still needs to grow. Sometimes, when offensive linemen got their hands on him, he struggled. That's rookie stuff. But the raw talent? Off the charts. Pair him with Bond, who already looks like the same smart, relentless playmaker from last season, and suddenly the Eagles' weakest position in recent years might have become one of their biggest strengths. This defense isn't just good. It's scary. And if Uche and Campbell keep trending up, the Eagles could be looking at a defense that suffocates opponents week after week. What do you think, Eagles fans? Does Azeez Ojulari still have a future in this rotation? Or is Josh Uche about to take his spot for good? And do you believe Campbell and Bond can really become the NFL's best linebacker duo? Drop your take in the comments. I want to hear how confident you are in this defense. When you look at what this rookie just did, a pass breakup, a forced fumble, and a sky-high PFF grade in both overall play and coverage, it's hard not to feel like we're witnessing something special at linebacker. The Eagles might have stumbled onto a star. Campbell's size, speed, and instincts make him look like the kind of player who changes the whole energy of a defense. And when you put him next to Zach Bond, Suddenly the Eagles' linebacking unit feels more dangerous than it has in years. But here's the twist. This breakout has created a problem the Eagles never expected. Because in just a few weeks, Nakobe Dean is coming back. And that raises the question nobody wants to answer. Do you bench the rookie who's on fire? Or do you sit a proven veteran who had almost 130 tackles last season? Campbell has all the momentum right now, and everyone knows you don't mess with momentum in football. But Dean has been the heart of this defense before, and it's not easy to push him aside. This isn't just a depth chart decision. This is the kind of choice that can shake up an entire locker room. Meanwhile, the Eagles got major news on another front. The NFL announced that Jalen Carter will not face a suspension after his Week 1 ejection. Instead, the league counted that ejection as a one-game punishment and fined him over $57,000. For the Eagles, that's huge. It means Carter is back for Week 2 against the Chiefs. And make no mistake, having him on the field is a game-changer. Still, Coach Nick Sirianni made it clear that the Eagles will handle their own discipline privately. And defensive coordinator Vic Fangio didn't sugarcoat it either. He sent Carter a direct message. Leaders lead with their actions, not their words. And Fangio is right. Carter is a freak athlete, but if he wants to become the leader this team needs, the mistakes have to stop. The talent is there, but the maturity still has to grow. This could be the wake-up call that Carter needed. Fangio also opened up about the secondary. Adoree Jackson is expected to remain the starter at corner against the Chiefs. At safety, the plan is Sidney Brown in base defense and rookie Andrew Mukuba in nickel. Against Dallas, they spent more time in nickel than expected, which gave Mukuba extra snaps. Fangio admitted the rookie had some major busts that could have cost the team even more, but he believes Mukuba can bounce back. That's the tough love a young player needs. And if he learns fast, the Eagles could have a dangerous young piece in their secondary. There was also a roster move that stings a bit. The Eagles waived defensive tackle Gabe Hall to clear space after the Tank Bigsby trade. Hall's story was one fans loved. An undrafted guy who fought his way through camp and stuck around on the practice squad. Losing him now feels like a gut punch, but there's hope he clears waivers and finds his way back. So here's where things stand. Campbell is forcing a linebacker controversy. Carter is back but on thin ice. The secondary is still finding its balance, and the roster is shifting with every new move. All of this sets up one of the biggest tests of the season, a showdown with the Kansas City Chiefs. And now I've got to ask you, Eagles fans, if you're the coach, who do you start when Nakobe Dean comes back, the veteran leader or the rookie who's on fire? Drop your answer in the comments, and let's see where this fan base stands.